Welcome back to Akira Kizzau. We're beginning issue number 8, Nevermore. A samurai, and the one who slew one of Lovecraft's most potent creations, Poe said as he extended a hand to Ariane. It has been 3 years since we were all on the plains. I do hope the Lama are as efficient as they seem at guarding the sealed portal. Excuse me? Ariane asked. Poe sat down on the edge of the fountain. Ravens flew to the top of the statue to look down at them. He wore jeans and a gray turtleneck. A withered staff rested across his lap with a dimly lit crystal shedding purple light on the scene. The llama totem, Gertrude, led her people there to protect the plains in case the Tarrasque decide to return. What hope do animals have against a race of beings that can take down gods? Karza said, as the raven flew down to his feet. The bird tilted its head upward to stare at the immortal. Ariane knew that the god of ravens had bestowed certain properties to the birds that guarded him. She wondered if this one was taunting the slayer of Azathoth. Oh, Poe said, I think we can all agree that animals have a way of proving themselves to certain tasks. When I was made a literary, these fine creatures would not leave me alone. After a time, I realized I could see through their eyes, talk to them, and even rely on them to protect all of Usher. They may be animals, but they know more about my city than even I, the one that gave rise to it all. Mr. Poe, Ariane said. Please, call me Edgar, Poe said. I consider all heroics my friends, and because of that, we should be on a first-name basis. What has you so troubled that you requested an audience with yours truly? Vampires, Karza blurted out. There are 3 fools that are plotting something truly foul. One of them is Dracula, Poe finished. I'm sorry, you seem to be lacking in manners, but I think it might be prudent not to underestimate others. I was trying to nudge that little nugget of wisdom into your idea box. And since Dracula is what you are here to discuss, I can certainly put all my cards on the table. I thought you were limited in how you could affect mortals, Arya said. Dracula, Poe said, is very much like our friend here. I'm not your friend. Both immortal, both brash, and both given wide berth by the Pantheon and the Fates. As such, I can tell you what I know about Vlad. And we should start with the near riot he caused when his own kind threw him forcefully out of their territory. No loyalty among the bloodsuckers, Karza asked with a half insult. Poe sighed, but nodded his head. Usher is a city built on reconstructing the hopeless. Ghouls, werewolves, ephemerals, and vampires all dwell within the city under a constant darkened sky. Vampires are a large part of the population. They have long policed both themselves and Usher. They take a very dim view to the old ways. Ariane watched Elric Garza shuffle in place. The immortal seemed to be at a loss for words. During the Tarrasque Crusade, he had been more than a bit vocal with anyone that dared to cross him. Dracula did make an attempt to bring the vampire populace to heel then? Yesterday, Poe said, during the Llama March, I thought I would have to intercede, but when I arrived, I found the chief of the watch aim a holy light directly into the eyes of Vlad. The Impaler then swore vengeance before becoming a swarm of bats. My ravens followed the swarm out of the city before returning. Can we speak to the chief? Ariane asked. I have already sent word with one of the unkinds, Poe said. I have been told he will be here shortly. Might I ask for a bit of information from you two? Of course, Ari responded. She watched as Karza slowly nodded. The 3 literary gods of the core aspect have been toying with an idea. There is a degree of uncertainty about our intended plan. Each of us, though, is looking to the heroics and citizenry to see if it might be worth our time. What is it? Yes, out with it, Garza said, leaning on his sword, obviously becoming bored with waiting. William, Miss Norton, and myself has been exchanging ideas. We soon stumbled on the idea that the three of us might collaborate on some new works. Ariane was shocked. The literary gods were created to be a link between the pantheon and mortals. It was widely known that however they created works in their old life, worked towards created life in the new. That could be dangerous, Ari said. We've already anticipated some of what might transpire, Poe said. However, giving rise to a new heroic, one concocted by the three of us, is far beyond tempting. You've already done it, haven't you? Garza asked. Indeed, Poe said, and I'm afraid that she has been wrested from the place where we were housing her. Ariane clutched the hilt of her katana firmly. She looked into the eyes of the god of the ravens and saw sadness. His child was missing. How can we help? Talk to the chief of the watch about Dracula, Poe said. I believe Baba Yaga was the one responsible for kidnapping our latest venture. And with that, I will see you next time for part 2 of Nevermore. And thank you for listening.